Hello there guys and welcome back to Blues TV for another Champions League live review by myself, Laurenz. Of course, if you don't know me, I'm just Laurenz. Check me out on Twitter, the link is down below, and my YouTube channel, that'd be good. A cheeky bit of self-promo, because right now I'm happy. But if it wasn't for that late Willian goal, for the late Willian winner, I would have come on here absolutely livid. Like, I literally, whoever I was texting during the game today, and if you follow me on Twitter, check it out. I was absolutely fuming during today's game. To be honest, I was already fuming when I saw the bloody lineup, right? Like, I don't know what we were doing. I don't know what Frank Lampard keeps thinking, playing this stupid 3-4-3. It does not work. Stop bloody playing it. Like, it just doesn't work. The only reason it worked against Wolves is because they also play a 3-4-3. That's the only bloody reason. Now, stop playing it. It's enough. I'm not having it. Again, stop it. Absolutely stop it. Not doing it. Literally, I'm fuming. And yeah, of course, got that out of my system now. Yeah, guys, I hope you're all doing well. Let me know, please, in the chat whether everything is working fine. The screen quality or image quality, I guess, and the sound. But everything is working fine. Of course, I will get to the chat towards the end of my live stream. I will, basically read out what you had to say in the chat, and then just answer it if there's a couple of questions to it that I will do towards the end of the stream. But now we'll just go through the game because there is quite a lot to discuss in my opinion, and let's just go into it by starting off by speaking about the lineup, because like I said, that was a 3-4-3, and that's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. 3-4-3, get in the bin. Get in the absolute bin. Right, it was Kepa in goal, a back three of Aspilicueta as the right back, Zuma as the central centre back, and Tomori as the left centre back, which I don't understand. Unless Christensen is still bothered by his knee problem that he picked up against Liverpool, why isn't Christensen playing as the centre back? Makes no sense, because then at least we have some sort of build-up play. I don't mind Zuma at all, even though he should have done a little bit better for the goal we conceded. And we'll talk about that. But he just doesn't have build-up play, and Christensen would have given us that, and so I'm not sure. But of course, the injury situation, we don't know for sure. Then I guess the midfield four, or I guess the two wing-backs, was Reece James on the right, which I was happy with. Didn't expect it, but I was happy with him playing. Had a decent game. He still needs to find his feet, but especially his crossing was very good. Defensively, could have been a bit better at times, I guess, but overall was all right. And then on the left, it was Marcos Alonso, who was decent overall. And then in midfield, we had a midfield two of N'Golo Kanté, who did return back to the team, which, as long as he's fine, I'm absolutely good with it. As long as he's fine and isn't now out injured for the game against Southampton, I'm happy with that. And Jorginho, of course, next to him. And then a front three of Mason Mount as the left winger, or the left central attacking mid, if you want to call it a 3-4-2-1. Willian as on the right side, I guess. And then Tammy Abraham started up front. And the game, to be honest, we started the first 5 or 10 minutes. We started it pretty well. We had a couple of half chances. We dominated the game. We passed the ball around pretty quickly. I wasn't all too opposed to it. But then we had, bar a couple of almost moments, I guess, we didn't really do much. And Lille found their feet more and more and more and more. And we just let them in, and and it was just so frustrating. And then out of nowhere, kind of out of nowhere really, we got a goal. We made it 1-0 through Tammy Abraham with a lovely goal. A great ball by Tomori. I say a great ball. It was a good ball by Tomori. Just put it in the right spot, I guess, in a dangerous position. And Temi picked it up with a beautiful first touch, got it out of his feet and put it past the keeper into the side netting. That was absolutely lovely. Can't complain with that. We had a couple of other moments, especially after Reece James crosses, where it was close in the box, where the ball just didn't drop for us, and then we would have scored. But it's difficult. That's another reason why I don't like the 3-4-3. We're just not that good at crossing the ball, and not at crossing, at winning the ball in the air in the box. So even when we have great crosses from the wing, we don't win them very often, and when we do, we don't get them on target. So that's another reason why I don't like it, but we'll get into that later on. And then Lille, they weren't, like, it didn't really harm them, our scoring. Yes, it calmed down the, the atmosphere a little bit, I guess. But, it didn't take them very long to equalise. And that was the first moment where I was like, well, not the first moment, but that was the big moment where I was like, this 3-4-3, excuse me, crap just is absolutely awful. Absolutely awful. We were on the attack. Willian lost the ball. Yeah, he could have maybe released it a bit quicker, but, nothing wrong with that. He got tackled by a defender, lost the ball. We were hit on the break. Two-man midfield. One of them being Jorginho, as slow as he is. As great as he is and everything else. But, he's slow as fuck. So, and then you have a two-man midfield. They just passed the midfield with literally one pass. And then all the back five were running backwards. Reece James not really doing much in that situation, even though it was on his side. I was like, what are you doing, Reece? But there's no criticism towards him. I just was a bit confused as to what he was doing when I was watching it. And the whole back four was just sprinting back, just giving them space. None of them were pushing up to try to attack the guy to possibly make them lose the ball. And then, okay, Kepa ends up making a great save, leads to a corner. From that first corner, nothing happens. They get another corner, and then they score. And then they score through, the guy that I mentioned in my preview yesterday, called Victor Osimhen. I'm still not sure on the pronunciation. I do apologize for that. No, I'm not acting like we lost, but it's Lille. And we had a poor performance today. But if it wasn't for an absolute great goal by Willian towards the end. And don't worry, guys. I will get more to the happy bits later on. But there's no point being happy with that performance before, because it's not all about bloody performances, is it? It's not all about bloody results, because Ajax won 3-0 again against Valencia, who we couldn't beat at Stamford Bridge. And ideally, we do want to top the group, don't we now? Anyways, continuing on with that, they scored from another set piece. Of course they did. But this time I thought the criticism towards Lampard and the set piece defending routine that we have was a little bit harsh, simply because Zuma just by a tiny amount mistimed his jump. And that's why he didn't get to the ball. That's basically all it was, in all honesty. Like, he just jumped a tiny bit too early because he got enough height on it and he was in a decent enough position. If he jumps a tiny bit later, he heads the ball away before the attacker. He mistimed it a tiny bit, and basically he was already coming down from his jump as the attacker behind him rose up and headed it into the net. Nothing Kepa could have done about it. And then the rest of the first half was just a load of nothingness, really. To be honest, guys, it always is the case. There might always be a couple of chances that I might be forgetting. Of course, please do excuse me. Yeah, I'm not even a real Chelsea fan. You tell yourself that, mate. Yes, so continuing on with that, first half, the rest wasn't particularly great. I mean, we had almost all of the ball. We had loads of the ball, but we just weren't doing anything with it. It's the constant problem that I have with the 3-4-3. There's just huge gaps between midfield and attack, and we just couldn't fill those. Especially, Kante isn't the best at that. He was kind of invisible today, I want to say. I didn't really notice him making a huge amount of tackles. I didn't really notice him on the ball that much. Jorginho was there, but only just like squaring it around, really, because the gaps and the way Lille defended and stopped us from using, I guess, the spaces in between the lines, which especially Mason Mount is usually so good at. They just stopped us doing that. Hence why we struggled to create. We always had to play it out wide to Marcos Alonso and Reece James. And then we struggled either to get the ball into the net to the box in the first place, or to do something with it then. Reece James' crosses were actually generally very, very good. Alonso, couple of good crosses, most of them not so great, which is what we really expect. But then getting into the second half, it was all the same. I was hoping for a change of formation. I was hoping, but we didn't get it. We didn't get it straight away. And the rest, at the start of the first half, actually, Lille had a huge chance to almost make it 2-1 there from another set piece, which was, of course, scary, very, very scary, because I'm not sure we would have been able to recover from going, behind, I guess. But continuing on with that, we did find our feet a little bit more. We had a couple of almost moments. Mason Mount had a good moment. I'm not sure whether that was after the substitution or before, where he received the ball, took it on with a touch with his heel, got it, in front of him, took a shot, but the keeper made a decent save to put it, play it wide. And then finally came the substitution that I wanted all game long, all game long. It took Frank Lampard, let me just get it right, until the 67th minute, until he brought Callum Hudson-Odoi on for Reece James. When he brought him on for Reece James, Azpilicueta didn't really matter much to me, but, Reece James, fitness-wise, just came back. Just came back. I understand that he took him off, brought Hudson-Odoi on, changed to a 4-3-3. Of course, the back four of Alonso, Tomori, Zuma, and Azpilicueta. A midfield three of Jorginho as the deepest, Kante to his right, Mason Mount to his left. Hudson-Odoi on the left wing, Willian on the right wing, Tanny Emre up front. And out of nowhere, literally, basically the second we changed to a 4-3-3 and also Callum Hudson-Odoi came on, we had what you could actually deem as attacking play, because we just did not have that before. We just absolutely did not have that. And finally, we started playing good football, and I enjoyed it. I absolutely loved the last 20-25 minutes when we had the 4-3-3. It was good. It was good to watch. We didn't have the most amount of huge chances, but we actually moved the ball forward, and it was looking like we were actually trying to do something, which just wasn't in the 3-4-3. It just wasn't looking like that at all. And it was frustrating. It was infuriating. But then it got good. And then it got good. And then in the, the 78th minute, roughly 10 minutes or so after we changed the system, Willian makes it 2-1 with a great goal. Absolutely great goal. First, some great, piece of work on the wing by Callum Hudson-Odoi to get away from his defender, then puts a cross in, which I'm not sure he meant to put there. If he did, fair play, but he puts a very high, long cross into the box. Willian is stood there at the far post, but still, a good, what would it have been, maybe 10, 11 yards from the line. He takes it on the volley, kind of on the, well, did he take it on the half? Well, no, he took it on the volley, but smashed it into the ground. You never know. Did he do it on purpose? Who knows? But he smashed it into the ground and then he bounced over the keeper into the far corner. And it was a great goal. And thankfully, we managed to hold on after that. Two huge saves by Kepa after that. One that I think Tomori kind of messed up, where Tomori just, you know, messed up a back pass or so. And then Kepa messed one up later on. But Kepa both times with great saves in the end. Just about got there before the guy, just about got to the ball before the guy could, I guess, you know, nick it on, and you know that would have resulted in a penalty. Great saves in the end, and I was happy. Huge win. Of course, I said before the game that we needed to win this, and we needed to win this. And I said in my preview as well, I am expecting a difficult game, but I didn't expect us to be so load of nothing. But then again, I didn't know that we would be playing in a 3-4-3, because if someone told me that, I would have, you know, said exactly that would happen, because it just always happens when we play 3-4-3. But playing Wolves, of course. But even then, we needed a screamer for everything to happen, for everything to come good. So that was great. And, you know, towards the end of the second half, when we made the substitution, it was great. I was very happy with it. We got that winner, very pleased. Of course, Ajax won 3-0 away in Valencia. I think I just mentioned that as well. So we're still third because it's, you know, head-to-head, I guess. So Valencia ahead of us, even though our goal difference is much better. Valencia also missed a penalty in that when it was 1-0 to Ajax. So that's a bit frustrating, of course. But yeah, when we go to Ajax, when they come to ours, we just need to beat them. You know, it's as simple as that, at least in one of them. And ideally we don't lose, but we'll just have to wait and see if we want to, you know, if we want to top the group. But talking through to a couple of performances, I guess. Kepa, couple of dodgy moments with, you know, especially the one very late on where he just messed up his touch, I guess, and then couldn't clear it, I guess, long enough, but then made up for it with a great save. But had a couple of great saves today. Even was a little bit better in the box, as in commanding it and coming out for you know, the ball, I guess, and catching it. I don't know what's wrong with the title. Did you just not hear me talk right now? I'm incredibly pleased about the last 20 minutes. About the last 20 minutes or so. But otherwise, you know, I was very happy with Kepa today, actually. Azpilicueta, I thought, as a right centre-back, can't complain much. Zuma could have done a bit better for the goal that we conceded, of course, the timing of the jump. I know it's very difficult, so I'm not having a huge go at him. We could have done a bit better there. Also had a dodgy moment early in the first half, actually, where Kepa also had to kind of just really save him. I think that was even before we made it 1-0. So that was a bit dodgy, but generally not too bad. Tomori, also a couple of dodgy moments, but generally great. You know, great pace, great positioning, great defending. Very happy with him again. Alonso was decent today. Again, you know, he's actually been quite decent recently. Not all too bad, but he still slows things down a little bit too much for my personal liking. But today, that was also due to the formation and due to everything else. It's more difficult for every player in that position to actually make things happen quickly. That's the same for everyone, so I can't be too critical of him for being a bit too slow. Reece James, mentioned him at the start already. Decent, you know, good, especially crosses, very good. Defensively, could have sometimes been a little bit better, but I was happy with him overall. An impressive Champions League debut. You really can't ask for much more than what he showed today. Very happy, and obviously huge congrats to him to get that Champions League debut, which of course is great. The midfield too, Jorginho was okay. Didn't really see much of him, to be honest. He controlled it, and you know, he didn't put his foot wrong anywhere, really. Not like he made any mistakes, but he wasn't as influential. But of course, oh, something I forgot. I'm really sorry, guys. Hit the post with a beautiful curler from way outside the box just at the end of the first half, which of course would have been great at the time if we had scored that. Really deserved the goal because it was a great strike. Kante next to him, mentioned it already, a bit invisible, but just come back from an injury. This was kind of why I didn't want to start him today, maybe give him a little bit, you know, longer off, I guess, to get fully in shape and fully fit before we play him. But it worked out in the end. We won, so I'm not complaining. Can't really be too angry. Mason Mount, slightly ineffective today in some moments, but then had some brilliant moments as well. Some brilliant pressing, as he does, which is something that people, for some reason, heavily underestimate and, you know, just underappreciate, which I find baffling. Then he had that moment with an unbelievable backheel touch to control the ball. Great, absolutely great. Yes, slightly ineffective, but, you know, overall, he was pretty decent, I thought. Willian, difficult to judge today. It wasn't his game. Things weren't really coming off for him, but then he scores an absolute blind of a winner. So, you know, you have to say fair play. You know, you absolutely have to say fair play. Tammy Abraham, great goal at the start. You know, took it really well, controlled it really well. Had some tough moments in the game, had some good moments in the game. It was up and down. But to be honest, I'm not all too displeased. But today, at least from my review, Frank Lampard should be very glad that Willian got that winner, because I would have been livid. I mean, you guys think that I'm, you know, absolutely, you know, fuming as it is, and then I'm very too angry and, I don't know, very too negative or whatever. I don't know what you guys are on about. Just give my honest opinion. Not sure what everyone else does on YouTube, but I, guys, do. And if that's my honest opinion, that's what you're going to get. If you don't like it, I'm sorry. I really am. But I hope you can understand my viewpoint, I guess, why I wasn't happy with the first half, or I guess until the 67th minute when we changed the system. But yeah, you know, the 3-4-3, we just can't be doing that anymore. You know, honestly, we just cannot. It's like if we play a Kante and Kovacic midfield, maybe we can try because they just have the legs, but it just doesn't work. Like especially when we concede that first goal, when we are hit on the break, we have a two-man midfield. If we play in a 4-3-3 in that situation, we have a three-man midfield, we probably stop their counter-attack before they even get into our half, or just after that. And it doesn't even get to the two corners that we end up conceding from. And that's the kind of problem I have with it. It stops our attacking play. It hinders us in some moments in our defensive play. Of course, it makes us overall defensively slightly more solid because you have to add an extra centre-back. But against counter-attacks, if the other team knows what they're doing, it's not easy. And it just harms our attack so much. Like the gaps between attack and midfield are way too big because two players in midfield just can't cover everything. And it's bad. And I really hope Lamps doesn't do it again. One thing that I will touch on is Christian Pulisic wasn't in the squad today, which was slightly surprising, especially considering both Michy Batshuayi and Olivier Giroud were on the bench. Both didn't come on in the end. Oh, I forgot to mention, in the end, Mason Mount was replaced by Mateo Kovacic. And what was the other substitution? We made one other substitution. Oh, and Pedro came on for Willian as Willian. I'm not sure whether he picked up an injury or whether he was just absolutely dead tired toward the end. But yeah, we did make all three substitutions. But yeah, Pulisic wasn't even in the squad. Not sure what's going on there, honestly, guys. I would love to tell you, but I'm struggling. I'm struggling to properly comprehend it. Ross Barkley wasn't in the squad either. That one I can understand a little bit more. Of course, there was this whole, thing that happened with him going to Liverpool 2 days ago or 3 days ago, whatever it was, and then spilling his chips that he bought in a cab, which apparently, the cab guy wanted him to pay, and then he was like, no. And then police had to escort him to an ATM, I guess, to withdraw some money to pay the cab driver. It's a bit silly. Maybe he shouldn't be going out, so soon, so close to a Champions League game. He was in the squad in the end today, even though he travelled to France. Make of that what you will. But the Pulisic situation, some people have told me, he will start on Sunday now. I very much doubt that. Don't see that happening. But we'll have to wait and see, I guess. We'll have to wait and see. But other than that, I will just get to your guys' comments in the chat, because that's what I'm going to get to now. So anything you want to ask me, anything you want me to talk about, please put it in the chat and I will get to that. Of course, if you are new to Blues TV, please be sure to subscribe. I purposely didn't say that at the start today, even though it might not help us as much in subscribers as it wouldn't have done otherwise, but I just wanted to get straight into it. So if you are new to Blues TV, please be sure to subscribe. That would be massively appreciated. There will be fan cams coming from Lille. Well, there should be anyway, unless there's technical difficulties with the internet and everything. But there should be fan cams coming out later on. Tonight there should be a vlog by Lewis as well, and loads of the guys are there. Sammy, Dom, Lewis, like I said, J-Sync is there as well. Sophie is there, so there should be some great content. So make sure you subscribe, drop a like if if you're enjoying this. You're here already. Just go down below and drop a like. I'd massively appreciate that. But yeah, so let me get to the chat, and then we'll just see what happens there. In the galaxy of zonal marking, man-to-man marking is used. Zonal marking out. What? I'm not sure what the sentence means. Basically, you don't want zonal marking and you want man marking. Yes and no. Man City and Liverpool don't do man marking, and they're they're probably the two best defensive sides in the world. Even though they play such attacking football, they probably are the best defensive side in the world. Even though Liverpool conceded 3 goals to an Austrian side today. So what do I know? But it's not really about the man marking and the zonal marking, really. The main problem is just the way we execute it, and today I don't think which way of marking was the problem today. Zuma just mistimed his jump. He timed his jump perfectly. It was completely fine. It was completely fine. We need to stop zonal marking. Just spoke about that. We can't handle a lot of pressure yet. No, we can't. We can't handle a lot of pressure. That is also where having someone like Kovacic in the side comes in helpful, because he's very press resistant. He's very good at dribbling. He doesn't get really nervous in those kind of positions. But that is something that will come with time. Let me just have a drink, guys, because first of all, I have a headache, and secondly, my mouth is getting very dry. This team potential is unlimited. I'm not sure I would agree with unlimited, but there's a very, very high potential in this team, especially when the injuries obviously done. Whether that's Rudiger, especially Emerson, and of course, even more so Ruben Loftus-Cheek, which of course is big. Did Reece James play impressed? I'm not sure, did he impress, or whether he seemed impressed, hence why he didn't play so well. I don't know. I was happy with Reece James. I was very happy with him. Today, an off game. What is home? Don't know what you mean. Get it right. Did I get something with that title right? Wrong. Pretty sure I didn't. So that is that. An off game for Mount. I wouldn't say off game. Absolutely wouldn't say off game, but he wasn't that I guess, you know, productive today and effective today. No, oh, is that what people are fuming? Oh Jesus, guys, by saving Lampard, I don't right. I don't mean saving him his job, bloody hell. Come on, you know, if you've ever watched me, obviously I don't want Lampard out. Like, chill. You know, if that's what people thought I was implying. No, but he saved him from a lot of criticism tonight, because now the criticism won't be much because we won an away Champions League and we'll be fine. But the criticism would have been, in my opinion, quite big. Would have been quite big had, you know, we not won that game because of deformation and everything. We'll beat you in the return match, guys. Well, good luck, but I hope you don't. You know, I don't actually have any problem with Lille. The fans seem good in the ground. You know, I have no problem with them at all. Hazard came from there. Loic Remy is there. No problems. But we will beat you, and you just go and beat Ajax for us, all right? You do that so we can top the group. That'd be good. Well, he did have a couple of decent moments in there, nonetheless. Mount is Lampard's son. Well, we'll see about that. Do you think Pulisic's interview from Saturday was the reason Lamps dropped him? I don't think so. I don't think there was anything wrong with that interview. Well, if Lampard doesn't say anything to him, like, has actually not said to Pulisic why he isn't playing specifically, then why shouldn't Pulisic be allowed to say that? Like, that's, I don't see there's much bad to it. Mate, you lost at home. Don't know what you said. Do you think N'Golo Kante is like a pillar at Chelsea? Again, not 100% sure what you mean, but he is, of course, an important player, but when he's 100% fit, and he didn't seem 100% fit today. Mount is actually still injured, so off games will happen till he's 100% fit. I'm not sure whether he was 100% injured, but he's 20. Or is he 20? Has he turned 21 recently? No, his birthday is in January. He's 20, guys. He's 20. You know, Mason Mount will have an off game now and again. Hudson-Odoi has had off games now and again. When he came on today, great, by the way. I need to mention that. Very, very good. You know, made such a huge difference. Not just him. I think genuinely the formation change made a huge difference. But he was great. You know, assisted a goal in the end, of course. And I do hope that he starts against Southampton on Sunday. I think he will, but I do hope that he will as well. What do you need in your team? Don't know who you're talking to, so I don't know. Sarri wants Kante at Juventus. Yeah, Sarri can go do one. Chelsea will beat Arsenal. Hopefully, should Callum start on Sunday? Yes. Tomori man of the match. Who is my man of the match? Can't possibly go for Tomori. Or can I? Nah. A couple of too many mistakes, in my opinion. I don't think there was anyone that was particularly great. I don't think there was anyone particularly great until we changed to 4-3-3, and then Willian scored the winner. So even though he was overall not the greatest today, he scored the winner, so I'm going to give man of the match to him. Jorginho, long ball king. Jorginho was good today. I'm not sure whether you guys are taking a piss, but Jorginho was really good today, I thought. Okay, really good is an overstatement, but as good as he could have been in that formation. As good as he could have been in that formation. Yeah, and yeah, Hazard is, I just mentioned my man of the match. Wait. There's one comment that I want to mention. What do you make of a 4-4-2 diamond? Now, if you head over to my channel, sorry to plug it again, but I made an entire video as to how I think Chelsea should and will line up once everyone is back fit, and that actually is in a 4-4-2 diamond. So go and watch that, and then I will tell you everything. Basically about what I think about the 4-4-2 diamond situation. Aspie wasn't bad. No, I agree. Aspie wasn't bad at all. Can't really... It was a team performance. No man of the match needed. It wasn't a great team performance in the last 25 minutes, but fair enough. And Kepa made some great saves, but also, you know, made a couple of those moments for himself by not being great before that. But overall, I can't be too harsh on him. It's 23 minutes gone, guys, with this live stream. I really do appreciate you. I can't speak anymore. Really do appreciate you guys tuning in. I hope you guys did enjoy this live stream. I know I was very negative at the start, but that's just how I felt. You know, I was really displeased with the first 67 minutes of today's game. Okay, bar when we scored. But other than that, I was not happy. And, you know, that's just what I am. That's just what you'll get from me, especially in live reviews. You'll get my honest feelings. If you're not happy with it, I do apologise. But of course, like I said earlier already, if you are new to Blue TV, please be sure to subscribe. Drop a like if you enjoyed this live stream, or drop a like if you enjoyed this video if you're watching this later on. And also, if you're watching this later on and this live stream has turned into a video, leave me your thoughts on the game down in the comment section below. Thank you guys. Thank you to everyone in the chat for asking questions, for putting your thoughts into there. I really do appreciate it. Have a good night. It's good to have a first Champions League win of the campaign. Now it's on to Sunday and Southampton. Let's get another 3 points in the Premier League. Thank you guys for watching. Up the Chelsea, and I'll see ya when I see ya.